Welcome everyone to Magic with Class. I have the second to last draft booster that I will be opening on this channel for Commander Legends. I would ask that you please see my other Commander Legends box opening videos. One of the collector box videos that I opened had quite the spicy pulls. I was very happy with that collector box. So if you have not checked out my other videos, please do so. It really does help the channel. And feel free to like, subscribe, comment, private message, or anything else. I'm also very active on Facebook and Tumblr, so you can always send me a message or say hello there. So I think everyone is here to see what I can pull from this box right here. Oh, that was actually really hard to get into. Alright, there we go. So, here's my draft booster, all ready to go. You've got some fresh packs ready to open up. You've got the insert, which tells you how to command the draft. Tells you what the Prismatic Piper card does. And on the back, it tells you the draft archetypes, which is actually pretty helpful if you plan to draft the set. It shows you what each of the color combinations, the color pairings, are kind of looking to do so that you can draft appropriately, or you can just go completely rogue and do your own thing, whatever you choose. So we have 24 packs here. And obviously, do I really have to say it? I think we all know what I am going for, what we are all going for, what we are looking for. We are looking for the Jeweled Lotus. We are looking for the vampiric tutor. And we are looking for the mana drain, as well as scroll rack and a few other choice cards, maybe Thrasios, as in foil etched legendary creature. So let me ask you a question. While I struggle to open this pack, what do you guys think about the foil etched style? Is it a new type of foiling that you enjoy? Is it something that's going to be replacing regular foils since they've been proven a little unpopular, I should say? Alright, I'm going to go through the commons quickly, because there are a number of commons. After all, this has 20 cards in this booster. Nothing particularly good in the common slot. I'm just going to put them right off to the side. Here are the uncommons for you to enjoy. I'll go through it one by one. Some Mindless Automaton, a Burning Anger, a Stinger Fling Spider, and for our rare, we got a Orc Pirate, Coercive Recruiter, and in the legendary creature slot, we got Kanji, Sky Warden, and we got another rare, a legendary creature, Livio, Oathsworn Sentinel, probably my least favorite rare legendary creature in the set. Was really hoping that white got something amazing, but I don't think that's the case. I think that white remains a bit underpowered in Commander Legends compared to the other colors. I really like what they did with red, though. Over the last couple of years, red has really been improving. And here's the foil, just a Sears lantern. Let me put that right there. There we go. And we got a token, but I'll just leave the token to the side, just for space. So that was a double rare pack. Nothing too spicy, however. Mediocre at best, I would say. And even though there's just so many cards in this set, I feel like I'm kind of getting the same ones over and over. I don't know if other people are feeling that way, but I'm starting to see the same cards again and again. Preordained, which is a decent common. Okay, Thorn of the Black Rose, Ferlid, Murder, Ancestral Braid, Opal Palace. Alright, here's where the uncommons start. We have our Burnished Heart, fair card in Commander. We have our Vow of Lightning. Again, part of that Vow cycle. I don't love that cycle, but it is what it is. Patron of Valiant. Ugh, and our rare for this is the Immaculate Magistrate. Probably my least favorite rare in the set, and my least favorite reprint as well. I think that card could have easily have been an uncommon in this set and not affected limited or draft in any way. And I feel like I'm always pulling it. I feel like it's like one of my least favorite cards, and it's the card that I pull the most. So here is in the legendary slot we have Togo, and pretty decent. We have Jessica as a mythic rare. She can be used as your commander, which is why she was in that legendary slot. And for our foil, we have Prophetic Prism. Not a terrible rare common. And I also got a Prismatic Piper, which I'm going to put with the tokens. So we did open our first mythic, Jessica. Not a horrible mythic to open. I believe she's holding at about $5-6. There are only 2 planeswalkers in this entire set, and I think Zap, the mono black planeswalker that can also be used as your commander, is probably the better of the 2. Although Jessica has some interesting interactions, and she can be your win condition if you can cast your commander an infinite number of times. You can just cast Jessica, use her -X, where X is 1,000,000, let's say, and just kill all of your opponents outright. So, not a terrible second pack. We did get a mythic. We did get the mythic Planeswalker Fire Diamond in the common slot. Nothing else to see there. And here are our uncommons. We have a Angelic Armaments, a Volcanic Dragon. Not a great uncommon, but at least it's not a rare. Confiscate. And our rare is Nightshade Harvester, which I'm not a huge fan of. So not the best rare. And we have Ardent Intrepid Archaeologist, which I am a fan of. He is an excellent commander, especially for equipment and for auras as well. But I think you're mostly going to partner him with a red partner, or a partner that has at least partially a red color identity, so that you can use those Boros equipment themes. And we do have a double rare. We have a legendary Belborga Spectral Sergeant. I think this is the first time I've actually opened that rare, at least in the draft boosters. And he was one of the main characters in the original Ravnica storyline. He was investigating what was going on Ravnica, who was doing what, and he paid for that investigation with his life. However, he did become a ghost, a spirit. I forgot exactly how, but he managed to conclude his work, and he managed to solve the mysteries of Ravnica, at least in the original set. I don't know what happened to him. I believe that after he solved the mystery, he was able to pass on because his other world, I guess his business was complete, and he no longer had a reason to stay on Ravnica or stay as a ghost, so he moved on, I believe. He wasn't in any of the return Ravnica blocks, The foil is Kitesel Corsair, and looked like it had a little smudge on the top. And we have a Monarch token, which I'm just going to place right next to it. That was a double rare pack, but I don't really like any of the rares in that pack. So we have one mythic so far. We have none of the dual lands. Hopefully we can open some of those Battle Bond lands. Alright. We have our commons, Artillery Spear, Command Tower is always a common to look out for. Alright, and here are our uncommons. We have Siren Storm Tamer. We have our Sifter Worm, sorry about that. We have our Shimmer Mer, Artifact with Flash, and second mythic, but disappointing, we have Soulfire Eruption, which right now is going for about $1, I think, or less actually. I think this is eventually going to be like a 50-cent mythic. It's just so convoluted for what it does. You have to reveal cards from the top of your deck, and you choose like everything as a target, all of your opponent's stuff and your opponent themselves as targets, and then you reveal cards from the top of your deck, and depending on what you reveal for each target, you deal that much damage to that target. So already that's pretty confusing. But you can also cast the cards that you reveal with Soulfire Eruption, but it's a 9-mana sorcery card, so you probably use all your mana to cast Soulfire Eruption. So how much mana do you really have left to cast the cards that you revealed? When I first read this card, I'm like, okay, so it's going to add mana somewhere. It's going to be some sort of ritual so that you can play the cards that you reveal, and then it just doesn't do that. So, one of the more disappointing mythics in the set. At least it's not white, even though white has its fair share of disappointing rares and mythics in Commander Legends as well as some uncommon legendary creatures that's kind of disappointing in white, but here's a red disappointment, I guess. Alright. Aside from that let's get back into the legendary creature slot. Iktekik Salvage Splicer is our uncommon legendary, and we also got Breaches, Brazen Plunderer, who was actually a really funny character in the Ixalan story. Part of Vraska's crew, so he hung out with Jace a little bit. And he's very good friends with Malcolm, the Siren. And our foil is a Marble Diamond common. But of all the common foils, you probably do want some of these diamonds. They do make good mana rocks in Commander, especially if you're running a 1 or 2 color deck. I would probably throw one in there, especially if you're looking for 2 mana rocks. However, Arcane Signet is probably better, right? Okay. Let's see what else we got. Alright, next pack. Whew. Nothing good in the... Okay, Path of Ancestry in the common slot. That's decent, I guess. And now for our uncommons, we have a Scholar of the Ages. We have a Dreamstone Hedron, which used to be a playable card in Commander. I think now it's just too expensive. It costs 6 mana, does refund you for 3, and you can always sacrifice it to draw 3 cards. It's like a triple Mind Stone, but I'd rather play the Mind Stone. We have Demonic Lore, and for our rare, we have Akroma's Will, which is not a bad card. I like Akroma's Will. I think it's a bit undervalued. It gives you pretty much every keyword, and I think this would have seen potentially Legacy and or Vintage play if you could choose both at all times. Of course, you don't control a commander. You can never control a commander in Legacy or Vintage, so you will not be able to trigger both of those effects. You would have to pick one or the other, so unfortunately won't be quite as good there, but in Commander I think it's amazing. Alright, and our legendary slots, Brinolin, the Moon Kraken, and our Shadowcat Familiar. With the Open the Armory foil, very dark foiling on this one. I don't think this really shows it, but pretty dark. Alright, and we got a treasure token. Ooh, this has so many more packs than the collector boxes. Double, right? Double the number of packs, but it feels like so much more. It feels like sometimes I'm cracking packs for days when I open these draft booster boxes. I guess that has something to do with the number of cards as well. There's just more cards. Charcoal Diamond, Viscera Seer, Soul's Fire, Captain's Call, Farhaven Elf. So these commons are not bad at all. Benevolent Blessing, all pretty good commons. I'll put that right here. And our uncommons are Supreme Will, an okay counterspell. 3 visits, always happy to get a 3 visits. Remember when the Portal version was like hundreds of dollars? And now this is like a $2 uncommon in this set. Well, it's still worth more than some of the mythics, which is unusual, right? An uncommon that's worth more just a week into release than several of the mythic rares in the set. And almost all of the rares, that's kind of strange. You have a Revenant. And I think in this opening at the very least, our first Court card, the blue representative, Court of Cunning. And in the legendary slot, we have Toya Bearclaw, who is, I think she is related to Serac, maybe? The Dragon Claw? I know they can't use the term Dragon Claw anymore. It's been banned by the dragons. So I think they gave her the title of Bearclaw to compensate. And our other uncommon legend is Elena, Keskit Trapper, and ooh, pretty good hit. We have a foil Spectator Seating. So the first in these dual land cycle that was originally started in Battle Bond. That's a foil one, so that's always a good hit. Alright, let us keep going. That's a good card, actually. I think the red-white one is probably the worst, because just red-white is not particularly good in Commander, and these lands can only pretty much be used in Commander, but who knows? Maybe in a few years everyone will be complaining about how green is underpowered and how powerful red and white are in Commander. Maybe they go in the other direction and they overpower red and white for a while. That would be interesting, right? Marble Diamond, Prophetic Prism, nothing too great on the common slots here. Trove Tracker. Alright, so our uncommons are Pen and Blade, Strength of the Pack, Frenzied Shadow Brute, and Orc Warrior, and our rare is a War Room. Not terrible. It's excellent in colorless commander decks. I don't see a reason not to play it in every single commander deck that has a colorless commander. Comes into play untapped, taps for a colorless, and you won't have to pay any life for its ability, which is pretty good. Even in 1 and 2 color commander decks, War Room is likely to see some play, because usually colors are not an issue. Usually you can find all your colors, as opposed to if you're playing a 3 or a 4 color deck, which might make it a little harder. So you can find some room for colorless utility lands like War Room. And I like how Commander Legends did really try to help support 1 and 2 color decks. Yeah, because they did need a little boost. They did need a little shot in the arm. We have Siani, Eye of the Storm, as our legendary uncommon. A Jin Monk. And wrong slot. And for our rare, we have Amareth, the Lustrous. Oh, this is an extra rare, I should say. And our foil, we have Impulsive Pilfer. And we have a treasure token. I really like Amareth, the Lustrous. I think I'm going to be making a enchantment deck in these colors using Amaranth as the commander. Odd to see a dragon that's not at least partially red. This dragon is blue, green, and white, which is kind of strange. Maybe they're hinting at something that's going to be released in the Dungeons and Dragons set. I am not quite sure. But enchantment creatures work really well in a deck based around Amaranth, and hopefully there will be more enchantment creatures in the future. Maybe in another world besides Theros, they'll decide that enchantment creatures make sense. Okay, Haunted Cloak, not a terrible common. Forceful Denial, that's a new counter spell, right? Let's keep right on going. Marble Diamond, Prophetic Prism, alright. And our uncommons start right here. We have Kanji's Lieutenant as an uncommon. We have Golem Artisan, Monstrous Onslaught, and we have another mythic, but a disappointing one, Mnemonic Deluge. This card is about $2 at the moment, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, depending on when this video gets posted. Mnemonic Deluge is actually one of the better cards, I think, in the 9-mana sorcery cycle. First of all, because it's blue, which is known as a slower, more controlling color, so it can actually get up to 9 mana, hopefully. But also, blue is able to cheat the cost of sorceries sometimes, cast sorceries without paying their mana cost, or reduce the cost of sorceries, so maybe you won't have to pay the whole 9 mana. It also works really well with Time Walk effects. A lot of the Time Walk cards exile themselves or shuffle into the library, or they don't go into your graveyard, so you're going to have to work a little harder. But if you manage to get something like Time Warp into your graveyard and you're able to copy it using Mnemonic Deluge, you should probably just kind of win on the spot. It's like kind of like casting Expropriate, so there's that. I think Mnemonic Deluge is a little undervalued. I think eventually it'll be just a tad more expensive than it is. I think the price will eventually go up in price as the set stops kind of being in everyone's mind. Maybe after the next big thing, which is probably going to be this Super Drop Secret Layer, the Secret Reversary Super Drop. So once that starts to get released and everyone's mind focuses on that product, then I think we're going to slowly see the Commander Legends prices start to rise as people are not buying it as much. Alright, so the uncommon legendaries and the legendary slot are a multi, Celebrated Bounty, and we have Radiant Sarah Archangel, probably one of the worst uncommon legendary creatures, and it's a shame that white got quite a number of legendary creatures that are just not too interesting and not too... This one's not even interesting. I wouldn't care if the card was not as good as it could be, but it doesn't really do anything unique for the color. It doesn't allow you to build a deck in a unique way. It's just another Flying Matters commander, and not even a good one. Not even the best white legendary creature that cares about flying, let alone some of the other colors, especially white and blue. Look, here's a better here's a better commander if you want to run a flying theme deck. Kanji, Sky Warden. Well, at least that card is partially white, right? Although a lot of people say it's the blue that makes that card better. Alright. Fix my piles a little, let's keep going. So are you guys going to buy the Secret Lair? Which ones are you going to buy? Are you going to buy the Squirrel one? Kind of weird to see a Squirrel Secret Lair since they kind of stopped doing black border squirrels for a long time. Yeah, they do squirrels in the unset. Yes, Ikoria had a mono white squirrel in it, but they kind of have stopped doing squirrels. I guess they're a little too silly. But if you can have white mice, then you can have some squirrels, I think. I don't know why they moved away from the squirrels. Alright, commons. I didn't see anything great in our common slot. Here are the uncommons. Let's see. We have Fathom Fleet Sword Jack, Slaughter the Strong, which I think is pretty good in draft in this set. It's not usual for them to put a mass removal spell like Slaughter the Strong at uncommon, especially with its 3 costs. It only costs 3 mana, so Scale Behemoth, and our rare is Magus of the Order, another card I think that is a little undervalued. Although I must admit, Magus of the Order is slow. It costs 5. You need to wait a whole turn. Well, maybe multiple turns if you're playing against multiple opponents. But you have to wait for the turn cycle to get back to you. Then you have to invest another mana, plus tap it, plus sacrifice another green creature. And then you can search your library for a green creature. I don't know if that's a lot of hoops to jump through, but maybe it's good enough. Maybe if you can give it haste, you can do it right away, and you can summon a Crater Hoof Behemoth or something, or a Progenitor straight from the deck. Who knows? I can see a couple decks where Magus of the Order is not bad, and it's the last in the cycle of Maguses, or Magi maybe. Alright, so our uncommon legends are Captain Vargas Wrath, and we got an extra rare in this pack. We have Averna, the Chaos Bloom. So that was a 2 rare pack, and we have Court Street Denzian as our common foil. So far we hit Jessica. That was the biggest hit. We did hit 2 other mythics, Mnemonic Deluge and Soulfire Eruption, but mediocre. So far we haven't really hit anything huge. Hoping that as we go further into these packs, we open something amazing. Preordain as a common here. Fertilid Murder. Alright. Opal Palace. Alright. So here are the uncommons. There we go. Can you see it a little better if I do this? Maybe, maybe not. Let's try it this way. Alright, so we have Vow of Lightning. We have Thirst for Knowledge. We have Thought Vessel, which used to be quite expensive. I think this set really lowered the price of this. And we have Horizon Stone as our rare. I think it's a bit too expensive for what it does. I think if it cost maybe 3 or 4 mana, I would look at it more favorably. But at 5 mana, you know, it's already quite a bit of mana. What are you saving all that mana in your mana pool for? Why didn't you just use the mana you used to cast Horizon Stone to do whatever you were going to do? Alright, we also have, as our uncommons, we have Abomination of Lorna. Cool card. I like it. I wouldn't use it as a legendary creature. I probably wouldn't even put it in an elf-centered deck, but I do think it's interesting. The flavor behind it is very interesting. And it's one of the few elves that can grow massive in size. Usually elves are quite small. This one can be quite huge. And we have Prava of the Steel Legion. And, we do have a foil etched card. Probably not one that I would want to open, but I do admit it looks nice. I don't think the white etched foils look as good as like the multicolored gold ones or some of the other colors, but we hit one. It's Livio, Oathsworn Sentinel. So maybe just because I opened in foil etched version of him, maybe I'll have to throw together a commander deck and see what he's made of. He does have partner, so I'm going to put this in the rares. Yeah, it is a rare, so I guess it belongs right there. So, you know, I guess that's a hit. You don't always get one in these boxes. Unlike the collector boxes where you can get several, you get 3 in almost every pack. Sometimes you get 2. So if you do get 2, I believe a Planeswalker replaces the 3rd one, so pretty worth it. And you can get borderless planeswalkers in this and the draft boosters as well. The Jessica we opened was just a regular version. I think Jessica will also go up in price as time continues. I think she makes a decent commander. She has partner. I think she has a lot of interesting choices to partner with. So we'll see how she does. And I guess those cards can only get better and better, right? Because eventually they'll make more partners. Eventually they'll do partners again. Probably not in this tremendous quantity. At least not for many, many years. But I'm sure we will see partner again. It's a interesting mechanic. Alright, uncommons. Arzuf Advocist. Vow of Wildness. I always want to say Wilderness. Brass Herald. And we have a Mythic. Again, not the best one. Hellkite Cursor. I do think Hellkite Cursor is going to go up in value. It goes straight into Kaalia of the Vast decks. Any deck with Kaalia would want a Hellkite Cursor to complement it. Also goes well in Kiki-Jiki decks or any deck that just wants to attack with their commander and does not want to wait. Hellkite Cursor can help you out there. And our uncommon legendaries are Slurk, All Injusting, and our horse, Kelith, Sunmane Familiar, with a Eyeblight Assassin as our foil. So we did get a mythic there. We did get a mythic there, but maybe not the best one. But so far we have hit 4 mythics, and we're about halfway through the box, so that's actually above average. Hopefully we will get a few more, but I will not get my hopes up too much. Actually, you know what? I am going to get my hopes up. I hope we get 10 more mythics in these packs that I have not yet opened. Alright, we have common, Sky Diamond, Flith Ascendant, Natural Reclamation. That's not a bad common. Sisei's Ring. Alright, here we go. These are the uncommons. We have our Humble Defector. I gotta fix these piles again in a minute. We have a Volcanic Turret. Reclamation Sage. Used to see a lot more play in a lot more decks. And we have an Armored Sky Hunter. I don't think I've opened an Armored Sky Hunter. Excellent in equipment-based decks. One of the very good, rare white cards in Commander Legends. And I love its creature types. Cat and Knight both have associations with equipment. They both use equipment. Knight's in Throne of Eldraine. No. Was it Throne of Eldraine? I think it was Knight Tribal in Throne of Eldraine in white, and the Knights really were focused and centered around that. But there was also a Commander pre-constructed deck based around cats in green and white, and they had a sub-theme of equipment, which at the time I thought was strange, but here's a Cat Knight that works with equipment too. So if anyone still has that pre-constructed deck based around those kitty cats, this would be a great card to upgrade that deck with. And we have the uncommon Ray of Master Smith, another great Boros equipment-based card. And we have Lothiel, Bounteous Dawn, as an extra rare. And we have a foil, Ripscale Predator. Not a great foil at all. It's a dinosaur, right? So I guess that's something. We got a rock. It's a rock, Charlie Brown. What did you get, Charlie Brown? I got a rock. Okay, let's keep on going. I do like that you can get two rares sometimes, or sometimes even more in these booster packs. I counted the rares in the other draft booster that I opened, and I got more than 36 rares. So even though this does have less packs overall than a regular draft booster like Zendikar Rising, which has 36 packs in a draft booster, you probably will end up getting an equal amount of rares, since, in some of these packs you can get 2 or even 3 rares. They also include a foil automatically, which can also potentially be rare. Preordained, Charcoal Diamond, Viscera Seer. Sometimes I feel like I see the same commons over and over, and even in the same order, which is kind of weird. Collation issues, maybe? I do not know. Alright, here are uncommons. Vow of Flight, Return to Dust, Lore Seeker Stone, and the rare is the Rakshasa Debaser. Not a rare that I really like to see. It is a new card. It does have Encore, but not my favorite. It's a demon. Maybe if demon gets some support one of these days, I'll be happier to open it. And our 2 legends are Ghost of Ramirez de Pietro. Ramirez de Pietro was a card in the original Legends, although it was a horrible card. It was a multicolored card. I forgot what colors it was, but it was part blue. And it was like a 4/3 first strike for like 6 mana. It was an awful card even back then, I think. Alright, and the other one is Alaharu, Solemn Ritualist. Pretty good. And you see, I'm always opening this card. Our foil rare is Immaculate Magistrate. Really don't like this rare. I'm always pulling it too. I think it's because I said how much I don't like it, they know. Alright, and we got a Prismatic Piper as well. And a token. Moving right along. I don't even know why I dislike Immaculate Magistrate so much. I don't really like the art of it, actually. That's I think, part of it. There's probably something else. I do like elves, however. I do have an elf tribal deck. It's mono green. With some of the support cards in this set, I might change it into a black-green deck. Maybe using the partners, the one that she's always telling you to please be quiet. That legend, that uncommon black legendary elf, and I don't know, maybe Jiraga. Maybe I'll partner them two together and make a deck. Alright, Charcoal Diamond, Viscera Seer, Farhaven Elf. You see, I feel like I'm opening the same commons over and over. They're just commons. Benevolent Blessing. They're just commons, though. Alright, uncommons. We got Fencing Ace, Naudier's Nightblade, and our Hunter's Insight, and our rare is... Are you ready for this, guys? Da-dun, 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 da-dun. Finally opened one. This is the first time I have opened on this channel or anywhere else a Jeweled Lotus. Beautiful. It is non-foil, just a regular Jeweled Lotus. Let me be very careful. Put that straight into a sleeve. There we go. Remember when this card was $150 at pre-release and people were begging you not to fall for the hype, not to buy it? Now it's down to what, $30 or $40, but I am still happy to have opened one. It's still one of the best cards in the entire set. So, wow. With that, I have opened a Jeweled Lotus. I have opened a vampiric tutor, even though I don't want to spoil my previous openings if you have not seen those videos, but I'll just say that yes, I have opened a vampiric tutor. I have opened a mana drain, and now I have opened a Jeweled Lotus. We have, let's finish that pack. Hard to focus after you pull something as cool as a Lotus, right? It's certainly no Black Lotus, but still. It is probably one of the stronger cards in the set. It can only be used in the Commander format, so that's going to probably keep his price down. And I know for a fact that they are going to reprint Jeweled Lotus to death. I'm pretty sure that in the next Commander Legends product, Commander Legends 2, which I expect to see in about 3 years, between 2.5 and 3 years, I think we're going to see Commander Legends 2. I think Jeweled Lotus will be reprinted. It is a little hard to reprint Jeweled Lotus because you can't just reprint it in a regular set, and you can't even really reprint it in a Masters set. You have to reprint it in a set that cares about Commander in some way. But I definitely think that there could be another Battle Bond. I think that was a set that was underappreciated, and now people are starting to realize that was actually a really cool set. So I have a feeling we may see another Battle Bond. They could put Jeweled Lotus in a Battle Bond set. I don't even think they would do that. I think it's Commander Legends 2 or bust for the reprinting of Jeweled Lotus, but it will see a reprint. You know what? They also could do a Secret Lair. Maybe a Secret Lair Lotus edition. Man, that would be an expensive Secret Lair, though. Of course, they could not reprint Black Lotus. That's on the reserve list. That's another conversation, though. But I honestly don't think they will ever reprint Black Lotus in paper. Obviously, they'll let you play with it online. You know, it may come to Magic the Gathering Arena one day in a special play all Power 9 situation, but never in paper. Never again. Never again. Okay. So we have Armix Belgrade Thrasher as our uncommon to finish off the pack with the Jeweled Lotus in. We have Malcolm Keen-Eyed Navigator, who is a pirate. A lot of people are partnering it with Breaches. That's a flavor win that you can partner them together in a pirate deck, even though I'm not sure that's the best pirate duo. I'm not sure those are the best for a pirate tribal deck. I still think Beckett Brass is a better commander. It gives you access to black as well. And a lot of the pirates in Ixalan block were also black. And this set, they're only blue and red. There are no black pirates, is my understanding. In Commander Legends, our foil is Squad Captain. Ugh, garbage foil. That's a terrible card. And we have a Elf Warrior token. Wow, so after that Jeweled Lotus, I certainly slowed down for a second. I had to catch my breath there. It's not every day you open up a Jeweled Lotus, right? Well, let's keep going. Let me pick up the pace a little bit more. Alright. Let me make sure you have just the best possible view of that Jeweled Lotus, however. Let me fix these piles a little bit more. I'm just terrible with piles, if you can't tell. Alright, let's keep going. Alright, Findahorn, Elves, Flesh Flag, Marauder, Moss Diamond. Alright, these commons are a little different. Terramorphic Expanse. And our uncommons are... Ooh, commons almost tipped over there. Sorry about that. We have Interpret the Signs. We have Intangible Virtue. We have a Meteor Golem. And our rare is Necrotic Hex, which is, I think, is the first time I actually opened this rare. And I was looking forward to putting it in my Thraxamunder deck. Necrotic Hex would go quite well, because not only does it produce a ton of zombie tokens, and Thraxamunder itself is a zombie. So in my version of my Thraxamunder deck, I have a zombie token sub-theme. I also have, obviously, a sacrifice sub-theme in my Thraxamunder deck, and this card does both. It both allows you to sacrifice a huge number of both your opponents and your own creatures, and produces zombie creatures for you. So it does double duty in that deck. The casting cost is high though, 7 mana is quite a lot. But I will play it in Thraxamunder. You know, I'm almost really tempted to buy the secret layer, the Shred Harder secret layer, which has that amazing art for Thraxamunder. But, you know, I have the card already. I have a version of the card. I don't need the art. And while I love the art, they kinda are a little bit hard to read. It's hard to see where everything is on the card. Like, where's the mana cost, where's the power and toughness, where's the effects. But I must say, if I can find a copy of just that one card, the Thraxamunder, um, for cheap, maybe under $5, I would definitely pick up a single. I don't think I'll buy the whole secret layer just for the Thraxamunder though. Although the other cards included in that secret layer are really cool too. Anguish Unmaking, Assassin's Trophy, those are all really good removal spells, so yeah, I don't know. It's just the prices, it's too much. Alright, let's keep going. I see our Ward Wing Familiar as our uncommon legend. And here we go, Numa, Jiraga, Chieftain, which is what I was thinking of pairing the Black Whispering Elf. I forgot the name of that Black Elf. And our foil is Breeches, Brazen Plunderer, who pairs so well with Malcolm. And once again, we got the Rock. I think it's funny how they made a goblin that works with like artifacts in a way. And the artifact that he's like best at is this equipment, and the equipment is just literally he picks up a rock from the floor and throws it. But he must be pretty good at throwing these rocks, because the rocks can deal 2 damage, which is something you really wouldn't expect. So he must be pretty good at wielding these rocks if he can make them if he can make them deal 2 damage. I would have expected it to have been just 1 damage. Can you believe there are some things that only cause 1 damage? Some spells that only do 1 damage? Even spells flavored as dealing with fire or lightning, and yet you can throw a rock and it can deal 2 damage. And if you throw enough rocks, it can even take down some of the strongest creatures in the game. Alright, uncommons. Nothing in the common slots. Valid Torment, Victimize, Arcane Signet. First Arcane Signet that I've opened in this box. Always a pleasure to see. And our rare is Wrong Turn, which I have not opened this rare either. Not a great card though. It has a donate effect, but you can also use it to donate an opponent's creature to a different opponent. So if you're playing against 2 other people, and one of your opponents is absolutely dominating you, you can give the weaker opponent the stronger opponent's best creature to try to like even up the odds, I guess. Interesting use of that card that I don't think a lot of people have talked about. Our uncommon legends are Keskit, the Flesh Sculptor. Well, he's only 3 mana. What does he do? He's a human artificer. 1/3 for 3. Sacrifice 3 other artifacts and or creatures. So he can't sacrifice himself. And, ooh, that's a lot though. Sacrificing 3 other artifacts and or creatures. Well, maybe in some sort of sacrifice deck. He does have partner as well. So there might be a partner that wants you to get rid of a whole bunch of your own things. So what does it do when you sacrifice? Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand. Okay, so alright, so you do have to sacrifice 3 things, but you do get to draw 2 out of the 3 top cards of your deck, and 1 of them goes to your graveyard, so in black, that's interesting. And this is a double rare pack. We also got Gen, Arcanum Weaver, Foil Skyraker Giant, and a Soldier token. Meh. Double rare pack, but not great. And we are almost out of packs here. Alright, let's keep it going. After that excitement of opening that Jeweled Lotus in the middle of this video, we seem to have hit a lull. Hopefully we can pick it up with another interesting opening. Fire Diamond as a common. Alright. Here we go. Here are the uncommons. We have our Codex Shredder, Pride of the Perfect, Ordeal of Nelia, sorry. And as our rare, we got our Emberwild Captain. Oh, and here is that elf that I was talking about that's always asking you to please silence your cell phones. It's Miara, Thorn of the Glare. That's her name, Miara. I think she's flavored from Lauren. She's an uncommon, so she'll go here. And we have an extra rare in this pack, Nevernal, Urbarg Titan. Looking forward to making an Esper deck built around him. I think Esper decks and Esper commanders are all pretty similar, so I think Nevernal will be an interesting twist to those styles of decks and these colors. We have a Silverback Shaman as our foil. Nothing to see there. And we have a Dragon token. I must say, the Dragon token art in this set is pretty nice to look at. Alright, we have just a few packs left, so please bear with me. Can we open another Mythic? Can we open another huge hit? We have not seen a Scroll Wrap yet. We haven't really opened many of the Battle Bond lands, so maybe we'll see some of those. Elvish Visionary, Sky Diamond, Flesh Brag, Raise the Alarm, Natural Reclamation, Sisay's Ring. Alright, now we're up to the uncommons. And they are Furnace Celebration, Warden of Evil's Isle, Armorcraft Judge, and we have Promise of Tomorrow as our rare. And I promise you that if you can hold out through tomorrow, you will get those creatures back. Our uncommon legends are Glossian, Powerstone Engineer, uncommon. I don't feel so bad that this is a terrible legend. This is a terrible legendary creature in blue. This blue has just so many good things. I think everyone's so focused on what green has and how green's been doing lately that no one is really stopping to talk about how blue is still very powerful. A lot of the cards that have been banned are in Simic colors. So blue is right behind green as a problematic color in some people's minds. Alright, we have Arumi of the Dead Tide as the other legend in the back slots. And we have Warden of Evil's Isle as our foil. Not bad in a flying deck. Reducing the cost of your flyers is pretty good, actually. Alright. And right on the pack it says that this game is for 13 and up. But you can play, actually, if you're younger. I guess some of the harder mechanics might go over your head, depending, but, you know, it might go over a 14-year-old's head. Just depends on the individual, I guess. Flood of Recollection, Foundry Inspector, alright, common, Spectral Searchlight, common, Maelstrom Colossus. Here are our uncommons. We have a Vow of Duty, uncommon. And we have an Ingenuity Engine, a Noxious Dragon from Khan's Block, I believe, a mono black dragon. And our rare is just a regular rare, Jessica's Will. And the two uncommons are Rebecca, Architect of Ascension. At least this character is interesting, both in the story. I think she was the wife of Glossian, but also she is an interesting commander in an artifact deck. White hasn't gotten as much support as red in the artifact department. Red has really become the number 2 color for artifacts, but white used to have a lot of support. Remember Esper? Remember the shard of Esper? That didn't even include red. So white was kind of secondary in that shard in terms of artifact support. And this is a commander that works in an interesting way with artifacts, gives them protection. but you kind of have to work to give them protection from a lot of things. However, I like this commander. It's funky. It's a little funky. And the other uncommon legend is Hamza, Guardian of Arashin. This is decent in +1/+1 counter decks. Reduces the cost depending on how many creatures you control with +1/+1 counters. So you want to go wide. You don't want to just stack +1/+1 counters on one creature. You want a ton of creatures with as many +1/+1 counters on each of them as possible. And it will even reduce the creatures when it's on the battlefield. It'll reduce the creature spells you cast by 1 for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Kind of odd that it can't put counters on itself or distribute +1 counters in some way. It's more like a payoff for having a deck that's already just distributing a ton of +1/+1 counters to your many creatures. Maybe a token theme that also just puts counters on, or there's a lot of creatures that just enter the battlefield with counters in the first place, so you can use those creatures. Foil is nothing good, a Briarblade Adept. Okay. I really am hoping that we just see one more mythic. We have a number of mythics already, but I'm going to be a little greedy, and I'm going to ask kindly for just one more mythic. Champion of the Flame, Court Cartographer, alright. Commander Spear. Alright, Commander Spear is the last common. Here are uncommons. Explosion of Riches. Complicated card. Interesting though. Probably fun to play. We have Guildless Commons. That name bothers me to no end. It's called Guildless Commons, but it's an uncommon. I don't even think it really needed to be an uncommon. Alright, we have Sandstone Oracle as our last uncommon. Sphinx. Not bad. And our rare is Rejuvenating Springs. Probably the best Battle Bond land. It's blue and green. As I said, Simic is doing quite well in all formats. So this is probably the land that you want to open. We have Kedis Emberclaw Familiar. And we have an extra rare, Kadama of the East Tree. And we actually have a foil etched. Oh, look at this. Look at how the pack ended. Not particularly good, but we have a foil etched Prismatic Piper. And then we just have a regular Prismatic Piper just sitting right on there. I gotta say, the Prismatic Piper in foil etched actually looks pretty good. I'll put it in my rare slot. It is not that easy to open. It's pretty much useless though. It's just fun to look at, pretty to look at, I guess. Alright, what's gonna be in this? I'm smelling them. I smell something in this one, I think. Let's see what I open in this. In this pack, I should say. I've already seen of what I will open in the box overall. And we did get that incredible Jeweled Lotus. One of the best pulls I have gotten. Alright, we got our Military Spear, we got Command Tower as our commons. Ooh. I'm gonna have to start making a second pile for commons. Commons are just piling up. Alright, let me just put this right here. Yeah, I'll make a second row of commons. Alright. I don't have a lot of space on this. So hopefully, alright, now let's get to the uncommons. Meteoric Mace, Skilled Animator, Mask of Memory, a good equipment, actually going up in value before it was reprinted in that set. Allows you to draw 2 cards if you're able to deal combat damage with whatever this is equipped to. But you do have to discard a card. But it's just 2 to cast and 1 to equip, so I actually like Mask of Memory a lot in certain decks, certain equipment decks, just because it's just so cheap to equip and cheap to cast. And it draws, something that white and red have problems with. They struggle with it. So in equipment-based decks, you probably want a way to draw Because you're putting all your eggs in one basket sometimes in equipment decks, equipping just one creature, and then if that creature dies, what are you going to do with all that equipment? But if you're drawing, then it doesn't matter if you're just shoving equipment onto just one creature. So, what's the rare? Mask of Memories and uncommon, and the rare is Sakashima's, well, meh, with a Jury, Master of the Review uncommon, a Tormod the Desecrator, and a Foundry Inspector common foil. Okay, let's just put the tokens right there. Alright, how many packs left? I have one in my hand and two left in the box. Last three packs then. What will we get in these last three? Haven't opened a mythic in quite a while. Looks like all the good mythics are on the top of the box. Alright, Spectral Searchlight is the last common here. Put it right here. And our uncommons are Open the Armory. Not bad. Vampiric Obsession. Hero's Blade, another decent equipment. And the rare is Court of Ambition with a legendary Kolfanu, the last new, so a double rare pack. And this will be a triple rare pack because we also open Nostro, Voice of the Crags. First time I think I've opened a Nostro. And we have a Sanitarium Skeleton Foil. And sneaking in the last slot is a Prismatic Piper. Alright, so triple rare pack there. That was okay. I don't think I opened a Nostro yet. Interesting commander. Possibly for Storm type decks. However, the fact that it can't function as a win condition in Storm decks is a little problematic. If it was able to do X damage to any target instead of target creature, I think we would see it in a lot more decks because a lot of Storm decks would choose it as a commander for the colors and as a win condition. But I guess they wanted to limit the power level. Alright, let me see. Meteoric Response is the last common. On to our uncommons, which is First Response. Pretty good token generator. We have the Kumbaya Witches, Sunset Pyramid, and our rare is Blasphemous Act, which is a strong removal card, but its value, its price has dropped significantly. But a lot of commander decks that I have will be happy to have a Blasphemous Act in them. Alright, our uncommon legendaries are Rograk. Not bad. Haven't really opened too many of this. And my Volvid Familiar with a Supernatural Stamina foil. So, the last pack in the box. Wish me luck as we see what the final pack has to share with us in the close. Thank you for staying with me this whole entire time. I do appreciate the views, I do appreciate the likes, and I do appreciate the comments and all the discourse and discussions. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting what I am doing. Alright, going through the comments real quick. Nothing. Path of Ancestry. Yep, alright. That's where the commons end. Now, for our uncommons, we have a Daring Saboteur, Faith's Feathers, Guiltleaf Winnower, which I think at one point was a rare, so I'm glad this got downshifted to uncommon. And our last rare of the pack is a disappointing Plague Reaver. And our uncommon legendaries are the Color of Wildwood, Jargo the Shipwrecker, and our last foil is an annoyed Ultisaur. And I'm a bit annoyed that we could not open something a bit better at the close of our video, but that's okay. I think the Jeweled Lotus more than makes up for anything we did not open. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. Please give me your feedback on what you would like to see and how I can improve some of these videos. So yep, here it is. I think this is the card that everyone is looking for. The famed Jeweled Lotus. I put it in a sleeve. So have a great day, everyone. Please like, subscribe, and if you want to offer something on this Jeweled Lotus, I don't think I will be selling it at the moment. I think the price is a bit too low. I think the price of Jeweled Lotus is going to rebound in about a year. I don't mind holding onto a Jeweled Lotus and playing with it in some Commander decks and some Commander games until the price goes up, and then I think I eventually will get rid of it. I'll sell it. So this is Jeremy Class. This is Magic with Class, and I'm always reminding you guys to gather with class.